First and foremost, before we get started, I like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rekah Kwadash, and double honors to those great millstone, while unto truth, and also to those elect that scattered abroad. I like to say, Shalom. Come back here today with another great, powerful lesson to the spirit and the power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. And the type of day lesson is global wildfires. So I like to say shalom to all our listeners and learners. Hope to sweep you today and guide you back in the path of righteousness and back to your true power, which in fact is Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Before we start today's lesson, have a quick news article here by Yahoo News. And it reads, it said wildfires prompt evacuations and an emergency declaration in the Carolinas. It says here, wildfire forced a mandatory evacuation Sunday in a North Carolina county still recovering from Hurricane Helene, and South Carolina governor declared an emergency in response to a growing wildfire in that state. So we constantly been hearing a lot of things in North Carolina, especially Asheville, also in the Appalachians over there in Tennessee, pretty much across America. We knowing that a lot of things started in California. Before that, it was in Maui, Hawaii. Why are all these wildfires are burning across America? Also across the world. Also in Japan. It was a famous temple, a temple, but I don't know the exact temple, but it's on fire. Also in I think in South America, I think it's Chile, if I'm not mistaken. Can't hardly keep up with all these things. Also in the Florida Keys, down there in Miami, Dade County. These things are happening. Very global events. But one thing about it, we already know what this is all about. This is through the spirit and the power of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. And also a lot of people saying this, it's about they use these what you call these direct energy weapons, but one thing about it, we already know that's that left hand energy is constantly working. So we seeing right now that, every time you look around, we seeing that the Carolinas, is more and more land is constantly being burnt up. Why are they doing all these things? We already knowing about the minerals and different things up there in the Carolinas, that lithium and many other resources, also in other several states, they are constantly clearing off land. Why are they doing this thing? We already know that about the AI digital infrastructure that they're getting ready to put into place, and also we knowing about the AEU, the Air Emirates, United Air Emirates, they had made a deal with America, with a AI infrastructure, which is they said it was about I think it's $1.4 trillion. So why are they putting all this money and doing all these different things across America? Burning off a lot of land. What I'm saying? Like land grabs. Saying that a lot of people cannot go back to their homes and back to their land because of this, because of that, because we already knowing that they're getting ready to set up a new system, and they call these this new way of doing things. They're getting ready to go into this new system, which in fact total control, which in fact 15-minute cities, smart cities. That's why we're seeing all this land is constantly being burning across different states. So this is just one in the Carolinas. I have another one. I'm just going to go to the news break and just bring out some of just wildfires across the world. Certain things, just looking up, we just going to just scroll. It says here, the one in Walt Disney, it's a red flag warning for wildfires. All sorts of things. I don't know, it's nothing burning around Walt Disney, but it's just saying a warning there. Los Angeles, you know what I'm saying? So we already know about the LA fire, the Pacific Palisades, and so forth and so forth. These things are just constantly happening. You just scroll through and you see all the Lord, keep telling you about all the land is constantly, all these wildfires are burning across America and pretty much across the world. It says here, said the largest wildfire in the world history burned 15% of of a continent. Wow, man, this devil got to go. He's constantly burning all sorts of things. So we already know what this is all about. They get ready to set up this new AI digital infrastructure. Coming soon. We already know that they're gonna do away with the dollar. They already got in place these smart cities. So when you look up the word, the acronym SMART, it goes in surveillance, monitoring, reporting, analysts, and also technology. So it goes into those things right there. So we're very close to them transitioning over into a new system. A cashless society. That's why all these things live. They constantly burn all. I mean, just acres and acres of land. California, New York, Massachusetts, you got Florida, the Florida Keys down in Florida, the Carolinas, also in Louisiana, in my backyard, a lot of places they get constantly burning off, land grabs, getting ready to say, turn this land, which in fact they're saying that, that a lot of this land they say is not I can't say that word. It's not livable. I put it like that. So they're trying to come back and say that these peoples cannot move back. They can't go back and get this and that because one thing about it, they already have another plan in place. It's also about these resources. So they setting up all sorts of things right before our eyes. So we seeing now that they're moving in warp speed, setting these things up. Also, just keep looking and just showing you all, some of the wildfire. You know what I'm saying? Wildfires are sparking in the Northeast, just all over the place. Oklahoma, just pretty much all across America. You know what I'm saying? They're talking about air quality. You know what I'm saying? They're talking about what a global warming, all sorts of things they're throwing at you. But we already knowing what this all about, the NWO. They're trying to bring forth a new system, a new way of doing things. So we seeing this right before our eyes. This another one. Here's a wildfire in Japan. It was one in Japan was burning right here. We just scrolling, just things I'm just constantly seeing through the spirit. It said wildfire burns down acres of land that's in the Carolina. We just got it, and Japan. So that's another one right there. It said wildfire in Western Japan damaged homes, forced residents to evacuate. Just keep saying about evacuation, getting people out of these places, and basically, it's certain areas around the world that they are burning off, you know what I'm saying? Because they get ready to put this new system into place. That's what we constantly warning you about. We already knowing about the AI takeover. A lot of people are going to lose their job. So fire is burning all across the world as we speak. Every day something is burning down, some type of event, some type of calamity each and every day. So there's just some I'm not going to read in it up because it's a bunch of them. So fires are burning across South America, Central America, UK, Australia, Japan, just all over the place. And why they're doing these things? Why is the world is on fire? Because we already know that the devil is getting ready to come down with great wrath, bringing these systems into place. So let's get a quick precept, just something I've seen in the spirit, and let's go here first. Let's go here to 2 Corinthians, we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. So that's actually what he's constantly putting his things into place. All global warming. It was high winds, it was a drought. It was this, it was that. We're not ignorant of Satan's devices. So one thing about this devil is getting ready to move. He's getting ready to bring forth his agenda, his plan. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're constantly warning you about each and every day. Let's go here to 2 Corinthians chapter 2. And let's go here. Let's go straight to the point here. Let's go here to verse 11. It said, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. So one thing about it, we know in the physical counterpart of Satan is the so-called white man, the devil that the Bible speaks of. And what advantage that he's trying to get? Total control, and one thing to make you a Petros a slave. And also they're going to use this AI transhumanism. A lot of things are coming into play. But it said, trying to get advantage of us. And it says, for we are not ignorant of Satan's device. Who is the we? It's just talking about they're starting with the prophets, also the true believers of Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua. And one thing about it, the prudent man foresees the evil. And we already know exactly what this man is doing. Just all by design, and manufactured. But, from who? Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua. The white man is not in control. The Lord is in perfect control. Even though he might be using this left-hand entity, these this HARP device, DARPA, look it up. You know what I'm saying? These DEW weapons, these direct energy weapons. But one thing about it is all through the spirit and the power of Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua. He is the Lord's sword on the left-hand side. So one thing about it, he's doing the bidding of the Lord on the left-hand side. We put it like that way. But one thing about it, we already know that the Lord is what is in perfect control. So let's read this once again. It said, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his device, of what his mindset, of what his plan, his agenda that he's constantly putting in place right before your eyes. You already know what DJ Donald Trump talking about, make America great again, all sorts of things that he's constantly putting into place, and thinking that, that these things that America will be constantly remain the number one superpower. But we already know what is getting ready to happen. This man is living out his last days of terror. And one thing about it, we already knowing that the Lord's getting ready to bring this man down. We cannot wait. So that's what he's trying to do. Use his mischievous devices, bringing them forth left and right. Or it's a wildfire here because of drought, global warming. So we are going to do this, order out of chaos. One thing, once again, we're not ignorant of what Satan device. And the physical counterpart of Satan is the so-called white man, the red man. You know what I'm saying? And one thing about it is that we seeing these things are constantly picking up left and right. So the whole entire world, you know what I'm saying? The world is on fire in certain parts, not the entire world, certain parts of the world. Around the world is on fire. You put it like that. But one thing about it, we know that we're at the end of an age, the end of an era. It's more to come. Things gonna constantly pick up. Things gonna constantly increase for the great and glorious return of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. So now let's go to today's video. And after the video, we'll start the lesson. And I hope that you will get edified. One moment.
Is on fire. What's going on? Because right now, as we speak, while you're watching this, every single country in the world is on fire. South Carolina, the Carolinas had their 5th fire in 1 month. Chile is having one of the worst fires it's ever had. You know that everyone is structuring their fire crews as if they see a whole bunch of big fires coming this year. Apparently, they're expanding the size of their teams countrywide. This is Japan on fire as well. This temple stood for 1,000 years until 2025 popped up. This is more of Chile, just straight up homes and neighborhoods burning down for no reason. And when I say no reason, I mean the ground has been getting water, the plants have been getting water, it's not hot outside, it's not even spring yet. This is another location on fire in Japan. So we got Japan, Chile, the US, Argentina, and hundreds of others, literal hundreds. But again, my biggest worry is the widening of all these fire teams in every single city. They see this coming. How could you not?
So this article comes across my feed where it says wildfires rage across the Northeast as 27 million people remain under fire alerts, and it says from New York to Massachusetts. So I was curious to see what other wildfires are going on around the world, y'all, because they're only telling us about the East Coast. And when I told y'all what I found, y'all, this is crazy. First of all, this is the East Coast. So this is the 27 million people over here, okay? So I moved over to the West Coast to see what's going on. All right, there's a couple of fires in California, okay, okay, so I climb, right, and look at this, y'all, look at what's going on in the Northwest, look at this, look at British Columbia, look at the acres as well, no small feat, look, 1,000 acres, 5,000 acres, y'all see this, look, 1,000,000 acres, 1.2 mil, 17,000 acres? Are you kidding? 200,000 acres? I'm not even hearing about this, y'all. Are you guys? Look. Look at these acres. Look at this. Are you hearing about this? 500, right? In Canada as well. Oh my goodness. Look, 2,000, 8,000. Are you hearing what? I'm not hearing about this, y'all. So it is safe to say that there are well over 27 million people that are being affected by fires right now, y'all. And no one's talking about this. The shift is here, y'all. Things are going to get a lot more interesting. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Please like, follow, and share for more videos like this. Let's get this shift. Peace in.
Tonight, a state of emergency as wildfires rip through one of South Carolina's most popular state parks. Choppers dropping water at Table Rock State Park in the state's northwestern region. The flames already burning at least 1,000 acres and nowhere near contained. Take a look. You can see the smoke billowing high above the mountains behind me. Officials say that a lot of the trees knocked over by the remnants of Hurricane Helene last fall are adding fuel to these flames. Fire alerts are in place from Nebraska to North Carolina. Outside Asheville, crews are battling 3 separate fires, with mandatory evacuations issued for some residents. Meanwhile, at a state forest in southern New Jersey, the firefight continues, the flames eating through more than 2,000 acres. A weekend of wild weather, refusing to let go. Right now, the fire is still burning with no containment, and you can still see a whole lot of smoke behind me. But fortunately, rain is in the forecast tomorrow, so crews hope to get an upper hand and finally get this fire under control. Thick smoke loomed over the Miami-Dade area as a wildfire shut down traffic in both directions on 2 major highways. The fire closed Card Sound Road, an 18-mile stretch which connects South Florida to the Florida Keys. After about 4 hours, 18-mile stretch slowly reopened, but Card Sound Road remained closed Tuesday night. The fire had burned more than 3,600 acres and was about 20% contained by early Wednesday.
So now we'll start today's lesson. We'll start off in the book of Psalms. Let's go to the book of Psalms, just random scriptures, just rolling in the spirit with this lesson. Let's start off in the book of Psalms, Psalm chapter 10. Let's go into Psalm chapter 10. So we're seeing that this man is constantly destroying the earth, this red devil, but the Lord is going to destroy him when he returns. So, with this lone disease is getting ready to be cut off, sin also Esau, Edom, so-called white man, so we're very close, all hell breaking loose. That's why we constantly seeing these things, one thing behind another. Even though that we'll sound like a broken record, but these are the times that we're living in. Psalm chapter 10 and verse 2 said, "The wicked in his pride doeth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined." And one thing about it, so who is the poor? What I'm saying? Is what we're talking about, what Israel, who constantly persecuting us. Who is the wicked? The so-called white man, the devil that the Bible speaks of, And the Bible said, let him be taken into the devices that he has imagined. So, what he has imagined, is just taking over really basically the entire world. This man, his inward thoughts that he will rule forever. So we already know his plan that he's putting these things into place, causing all these different events to take place so he can bring forth that solution, total control. Let's read it in NLT. It says, "The wicked arrogantly hunt down the poor, said, let them be caught in the evil they planned for others." And that's exactly what's going to happen to them. It's getting ready to fall upon their own head. It says in Job chapter 20, right when he's getting ready to fill his belly, his plan, the wrath, the fear, the fear of the Lord is going to rain down upon him while he is eating. So the Lord is getting ready to bring this man down. Those IBCM missiles is getting ready to fly that laser and chariot fire. So let's read it again in Psalm chapter 10 and verse 2 again. In the KJV said, said the wicked in his pride. Who is the wicked? The so-called white man, the devil that the Bible speaks of. Do is persecute the poor. And who is the poor? And the needy. You know what I'm saying? The people of color, the Negroes, the Latinos, the Native Indian. He's constantly targeting us each and every day. The devil's getting ready to come down with great wrath. Jacob's trouble's at the door. The hour of temptation. We're constantly warning you about this thing. This man is getting ready to roll on us. That's why he's constantly putting these things into place, order out of chaos. He's constantly getting ready to bring it. Also, you already knowing that it's going to be dealing with this digital society, this Catholic society, under your skin. You know what I'm saying? The see here. It says here, let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined, what they have planned, what they have in store, their agenda. These things that they're constantly, every day, they're constantly putting this into place, that into place, signing the executive orders. This man is moving in warp speed, but he's imagined a vain thing. The Lord he's going to be taken. It's going to fall upon his own head. You know what I'm saying? We're seeing it right now that these nations are constantly, slowly turning against America, the whore that sits on many waters. They get ready to burn the whore. All these nations are constantly preparing for war. This man got pretty much, you know what I'm saying, the entire earth pretty much damn near on fire. Damn near 90% of on fire where you look, smoke, fire to breathe because of this global warming. It was a drought, high winds. This man is a liar. Never trust thy enemy. So now let's go here to Second Ezra. No, let's go here first to Proverbs. Let's go here to Proverbs. This man, he can't stop unless he have done some sort of wickedness. That's all this man is. He's the wicked that the Bible speaks of. This man is getting worse and worse. But the Lord's getting ready to cut this long disease off very soon, and we cannot wait. Let's go here. Proverbs chapter 4 and verse 16 says, For they sleep not except they have done mischief, and they sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. So we already know right now, this man here, he ain't worried about no sleep. This man trying to get this done, trying to get this total control. His inward thoughts, his inward thought that he will rule forever. But one thing about it, shameful spirit is upon his glory. The Lord constantly exposes man on each and every side. He got bounds that he cannot pass. But that's why he constantly doing this right here, mischief upon mischief, events after event, order out of chaos. Let's read it once again. Proverbs chapter 4 and verse 16 said, For they sleep not except they have done mischief, and they sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. So this man, he cannot sleep unless he done set every damn thing on fire, unless he done cause some type of explosion, some type of death, and destruction. He is the harbinger of death. Let's read in NLT. It said, For evil people can't sleep until they done their evil deed for the day. They can't rest until they cause someone to stumble. That's exactly what he want to do. You know what I'm saying? This man is talking about this. Also, this Georgia Guidestone, when they talking about they want to depopulation this 500 million, get the population down to 500 million. This man is done lost his damn mind. The Lord's getting ready to return. Verse 17 said, For they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. This man is wicked. This man, he love it. He love blood. You know what I'm saying? Since thou hast not hated blood, blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated wickedness, you go what? Reap what you sow. One thing about it is what this man is getting ready to do. He's getting ready to reap what he sow. And one thing about it, that he have a great fear upon him now. So the Lord's getting ready to bring forth that recompense and judgment like we have never seen before. This man, you know what I'm saying? He cannot sleep. This man got to call something to happen each and every day. So now let's go here. Let's go here to Second Ezra. Let's go here to Second Ezra chapter 8, and we'll get one more. We'll close out. And also the Lord is constantly visiting the earth that he created. You know what I'm saying? As we seeing a lot of earthquakes. We seeing volcanic activities, what these tornadoes just, I think it was the past 2 weeks ago, just came through. You know what I'm saying? The Lord's causing a lot of things to happen. Fires everywhere. These things just wrapping it up, because what? We're at the end of an age, man. That's what we're going to see a lot of things constantly increase. Second Ezra chapter 8 and verse 50 said, For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world because they have walked in great pride. So a lot of these things happen because a lot of people are walking in great pride, despisers of the words of Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh, being rebellious, you know what I'm saying, each and every day. Constantly, you know what I'm saying, doing wickedly each and every day. So many great misery shall befall, and many great what? Calamities, catastrophes, you know, a lot of events, a lot of sorrow, a lot of mourning is getting ready to happen, a lot of destruction, you know what I'm saying, a lot of death, you know, many shall be taken in a great number. A lot of things are constantly happening left and right. And some of our people are still asleep. While you're sleeping, what? The devil is constantly getting busy. I always say that left and right, because this man, he's not going to sleep unless he calls someone to fall. And one thing about it, you know, he's getting ready to set up that trap for you. You know what I'm saying? This grain of rice, and a lot of people gonna fall right in line, and you are going to be totally destroyed. So many great miseries shall befall you, you know, because people are walking in great pride, self-will, you know what I'm saying, do thy will spirit, you know what I'm saying, lovers of themselves, you know, covetous, you know what I'm saying, all sorts of wickedness. You know what I'm saying? Silly women laden with sin. A lot of things are happening. You know, we're living in some perilous time. We're constantly warned. Let's read it once again. 2 Ezra chapter 8 and verse 50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. But the Lord's getting ready to cease the arrogancy of the pride. Everyone is getting ready to be brought very low. Every tongue shall confess. Every knee shall bow down. And in that day, you know, everyone's going to know the true names of the Heavenly Father also. Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai. And one thing about it, that the Lord's getting ready to bring that great fear back upon this earth. We already know about the 2/3. They don't fear the Lord. These goddamn heathen nations, they do not fear the Lord. But one thing about who fear the Lord, who love the Lord, and waiting on his great and glorious return, that is the elect, the true believers of Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, starting with the prophet and a great multitude that the Lord's getting ready to return for. We keep asking the Lord, how long, oh Lord, man, we ready to get out of this nightmare. So now, let's go here to our last and final strip. Even though we sound like a broken record, hey, we don't give a damn. You know, what if some don't believe? We don't give a damn. So a lot of people looking at these things, you know, seeing these fires and stuff like that, and seeing certain things, you know, they're not paying any attention. Oh, it's just a fire, just this. Oh, it will pass. It'll be okay. It's nothing going back to same. It's not going to be, in a sense, a normalcy. All hell is getting ready to break through. Wake your asses up. If you do not wake up, the Lord is going to wake your ass up, but it will be too late. You know, the missiles will be flying. Your ass is getting ready to be in this lake of fire. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, you know, right now still what? Very prideful. You know what I'm saying? Very, very rebellious, stiff-necked. You know, a lot of things is happening. And Americans are all over, all across the world. You know, fires everywhere. Ecclesiasticus chapter 5 and verse 7, it said, make no terror to turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day. And suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance. So don't put off from day to day. Don't delay. You know, stop poking along, what they call it, procrastinating, you know what I'm saying, just being, you know what I'm saying, owl-minded, you know what I'm saying, it's time to seek the Lord, you know, because, you know what I'm saying, the day of calamity is getting ready to come. The day of the Lord is fast to approach. You know, all hell is getting ready to break loose. Put not off from day to day, because these Bible prophets, they are speaking loud and clear right now. At the end, it shall speak and not lie. Verse 8, it says, set not thy heart upon goods unjustly gotten, for they shall not profit thee in the day of calamity. So right now, you know, we're seeing a lot of these different cities across America constantly being burnt off. You know, these are land grabs. These, you know, they're going to be 15-minute cities, smart cities. You know, once again, the acronym of SMART is surveillance, monitoring, reporting, analysis, and technology. You know what I'm saying? This technology, they get ready to bring forward AI, you know, robotics, you know, transhumanism. These things are coming into play left and right. They bring these things before your eyes. Also, your money's getting ready to be obsolete. So your your goods, your things that you have, your resources, your bank account. None of these things is not gonna mean a hill of bean if you're not being a part of that system, taking that badge of servitude. You know what I'm saying? You're going to starve to death. What are you going to do? But we're going to trust and believe in Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. We don't fear no man. We fear Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. The Lord is going to protect us. The Lord is going to deliver us. Even though this man is constantly setting these, just fires all across the world. We put it like that. But we know that this is all through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. The Lord is in perfect control. Even though we're seeing that these global events are happening left and right, the Bible said so. So all we must do is constantly trust and believe in Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. We're living in some very exciting time. The Lord is getting ready to return. Also, our salvation is at the door. So the title of the daily lesson, once again, is Global Wildfire. I like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua Ba'ashim Rikah Kwadash. I like to say, Shalom. Shalom.